first thing you really want to do if you're caring about the finish of your groom is make sure the dog is very clean and dry and completely combed through before you start your haircut. With dogs like Brigitte that have a beard, I recommend when you're giving them a bath, you take a brush, maybe an old brush, and with eye safe shampoo, brush through the beard with the shampoo on. Otherwise, you'll find it's not going to get as clean. And then just make sure your comb goes through. If you don't, I obviously have a hands-free dryer. If you don't, you can use a second person to hold the dryer while you blow dry the dog. That blow drying is absolutely crucial to a good finish. If you don't really care and you're just wanting to get your dog clean and mostly haircut, then you don't have to worry about it as much. But that definitely makes a difference between what a groomer does and what the average pet owner can do at home. So you can have someone else hold it. They also make dryer holders where you can just use a regular human handheld dryer, never more than medium heat, and it'll hold it for you, so you don't have to have someone else involved. So Brigitte has some spots growing out on her from having her leg shaved from dental. Right now she goes a little bit shorter than usual. Plus she's going to live in a hot, humid environment. Right, Brigitte?
It's okay. It's okay.
So this is a Bravura. It has a number 2 dark blue comb on it. Normally I use this on Brigitte's body, and then in the winter I do her legs a little bit longer in the number 1 tan comb. It says 1/2 inch on it. This one says 3/8, but all of the numbers they give you on blades and combs are always cutting against the way the dog's hair lays. So if you're cutting with the way the dog's hair lays, you're going to get a longer haircut than what the comb says. And I always go with the way the hair lays. So on body haircut, you want to start on a dog like Brigitte with a teddy bear head, you want to start at the back of her skull. It's called the occiput. There's like a little maybe 1/2 inch ledge right there. You can feel it right at the base of her skull. It's very obvious. And that's where you start the body haircut. With my Bravura, this has an adjustable blade, and I always use it on the 40 setting or the closest setting. It gives the smoothest haircut. With anything, if you find you'll get some lines with this just because of the comb. But if you find if you're using a blade and you're getting little chop lines with your dog, that means you're going too fast for the speed that your blade is set on. So the slower you go, the smoother your haircut is going to be. In the winter, when I do Brigitte's legs longer, I basically cut her thighs from her thigh muscle to right here where her bend in the leg is with the shorter blade, and then I use the longer blade on the legs. You don't have to do that, and she may just end up with a shorter haircut. But anytime I do a dog, I almost always leave all my dogs one blade longer in the legs. It just gives them a little bit of a cuter haircut. So again, just exposing, or theoretically exposing, the thigh muscle to where the bend in the leg is. But today we're cutting her all short, so we don't have to stop.
Right, Bushy? Right, Bushy?
On the sides of a dog here, you can either go do what I'm doing and go all in this direction, or you can go down in this direction. But make sure you keep it one way or the other, or you'll end up with choppy lines. To do the tummy, lift the dog up, hold the legs. You always want to be careful right here in the groin. They have what's called the tuck up, and hers isn't super prominent, but there's a little flap of skin right there, and you want to be super, super careful in that area, because the skin can go through the tines on these combs, and then the actual blade could catch that and cut it, and you don't want to do that. So you just need to be really careful there. You're more likely to cut that with a blade than using this, because the tines on the blade set at 40 are really close together, and it's harder for it to catch the skin there. Whereas if you have a blade, the tines are further apart and it's easier to catch the skin. So as we get further into this, that I'll explain why I do what I do when I cut the hair in that area. If your dog tries to pull its leg back when you're doing this, you just put your finger behind their elbow right there. It makes it, and physically, you don't have to use any force or pressure. It just makes it physically impossible for them to pull their leg back. A lot of dogs, for some reason, Brigitte doesn't do it. I've been doing hers since she was a little baby, and I'm pretty careful. But sometimes groomers, they may be in a hurry, or they just go really fast, and if the dog pulls their leg back at the same time the groomer's going down their leg really fast, the combs or the blades can cut, and it hurts, because I've hit myself. So I can understand why sometimes they are reluctant to have people clip their front legs. I have two sisters I've been doing since they were maybe a year old, and I've been grooming them for at least 6 years, probably closer to 7, and both of them went to the same groomer, and both of them still, after all these years, just fight me tooth and nail on their front legs. So, okay, so we have her body mostly clipped.
We have her body mostly clipped.
So in the tummy area, on all dogs, I use this number 5 comb. It cuts very short. I am not a groomer that feels like dogs need to be cut down to the absolute skin in their sanitary area. Some dogs do. They create little mats on themselves from chewing, and then I have to go closer. I prefer not to do it, because the closer they are, the more likely the dog is to lick and from a close shave. And if they lick, they can cause irritation. So I just use this blade. Same with the booty. I can run it over it without having to worry about catching any skin. So here in this tuck-up area, because that's the area that it is, I take my 40 blade and I just skim over it like this. Not really close to the skin, but it gives it a neater appearance.
Right, such a good girl. I know, what am I talking about? I never talk like this when I give you a haircut.
And just so everybody knows, in case they haven't read it in the description, I am basically narrating this for Brigitte's parents to be able to do her haircut themselves, because they're moving to an area where there aren't a lot of groomers and they want to give it a go themselves. So the next thing I do is, with the 40 setting on the Brava, is clean the pads. This is one place in home grooming that I see all the time that people do not do, especially on the front feet. In between the big pads right here, the dogs will end up getting pad mats. Really, really tight mats, and they have got to be painful to walk with. So it's a little bit awkward to get in there, especially on a little, excuse me, a dog as little as Brigitte. I have a little tiny clipper specifically for that, but it's like $70, and you know, I'm using it for just one thing. It's probably not cost effective. Now the next thing I do, I move this blade to the 15 setting, which is right in the middle. Just clean out Brigitte's area where she gets little eye boogers, just so it's easier to keep clean. I do not shave down her nose, just in the corners. Boop, 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 boop. Now I'm going to move on to her head, and I use a one comb on her head. When I go in reverse like this, I use it on the 15 setting, and not a lot's coming off Brigitte today because she was just done a few weeks ago. Then I move it to the 30 to go back. Move her ear out of the way. Go down the sides of her cheeks. Same on the other side. Get her mouth closed so I can, and then here on her beard, what if I can turn down that light? It's like shining off of you. Shining off of you. Let's see. Light color, brightness. Ooh, that's too dark. Does the light color change if I cool? Nope, that does not warm. Nope. Doesn't help, sorry. So anyway, on her mouth, you want to get it combed nicely. Just hold her mouth shut with fingers on her nose, fingers under her thing, under her chin, and just lightly skim that. And then under here you go against, kind of just swoop out your comb. Okay, come on. Sit down. Next, comb all the hair down over her eyes like that. Okay, come on. Take your scissors. On Brigitte, I do a little half moon because she gets, you know, a little different because she gets a little cute, longer haircut. There you go. Then comb it all up. I'm going to use a pair of chunkers, which, I mean, you can get or not. Scissors are fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right? Even though you're perfect. And just shape comb, lift it up again. Can you see? Right here. Let's see if we can get it. There's a little bit sticking up. And then on the sides here, close your mouth, comb it all down, and you, let's see if we can move you closer. So on the sides, let's see if we can get her ear out of the way. Here where you've gone down with your clipper and you got this line right here, you just want to kind of bring it into line with where it stops right here. Same with the other side. Toot, toot, toot. Let's see if you can, sorry, see how it's uneven. And then we've made it even. Then in the front, again holding her muzzle closed, making sure that here you've got it pretty level. And another way to do that is to wrap your, I'm gonna have to wrap your hand around her like this, and so you can see against the backdrop of your hand if anything is okay. And just comb, okay honey, you need to stop. Comb your mustache. Come here this way. Comb your mustache area up. You gotta close your mouth. Boop, boop. She's gonna make me do one side at a time because she won't stop panting. It's not hot, she's just nervous. And other side. I know you can't see, it's a little bit hard to let you see everything with my camera just mounted in one spot. Okay, then back up a little bit. So that's as high as it'll go. No. Oh, yeah, not good. Let's see, can put this down here. Get that out of the way. So then we're just going to do her feet. Comb all the hair straight down. Take your scissors. Do the front first. Just kind of round the foot up. Take your foot. Brush all the hair like this. Down. Because the clipper will miss this and you'll have a bunch of straggly hairs there. Same with the back feet. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, let's turn around so they can see what I'm doing. You can shape your foot from the underside if you want. For the back legs, take your comb, brush everything up, take off anything this one. You see, it's okay. I can talk. See the unevenness. So brush it up. And that's about it. The rest of it's just a little bit of, tweaking here and there. This would be good enough. The way when I groom my dogs, unless I'm grooming them for show, I always say it's good enough for the dogs I run with. As long as they are clean, mat-free, relatively decent looking. Sometimes they're not I wouldn't be able to go out and win any grooming competitions with them, but it's good enough, right? That's it.